Guys, we just had another massive DeFi hack in the crypto space. Okay, I'm going to break down exactly what happened in this video because $100 million was just stolen. Okay, this is really important stuff to understand if you're trying to navigate this entire landscape. So I want to talk about what happened here and how you can stay safe from these types of things in the future. You know, some of you watching this video might be affected by this. So I'm going to cover that today in this video, as a blockchain developer who works with technology on a daily basis. And we're also going to look at a lot of other news updates that have happened in this space since our live stream yesterday. Again, we do these live streams Monday through Friday on this channel. Just subscribe, turn on notifications. You're going to find out about those we ever go live. A quick peek at the crypto markets, answer some of your questions, and a whole lot more. So, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something you're interested in, then definitely smash that like button down below, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step by step, start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, or if you're brand new, we are relaunching the Blockchain Bootcamp for the Blockchain Bootcamp 2.0 on Thursday, July 14th. So I'm super excited about this. In case you haven't caught the announcement on the channel, definitely, let's see here. Definitely go over here to the sign up page and find all the details about that. All right, so let's jump into this. Let's talk about the big DeFi hack that just happened. $100 million down the drain. So let me pull this up on my screen here. So Harmony ropes in FBI after losing $100 million in exploit. Okay, also the Harmony 1 token takes a significant hit in price after this happened. Okay, so let's talk about the who, what, when, where, why. So the who is definitely the Harmony blockchain. Okay, so this is its own blockchain and smart contract platform. So what exactly happened? Well, there was a bridge exploit. So what is that? So, a bridge is basically a piece of technology that lets multiple blockchains communicate with one another and do things like move user funds from one blockchain to another. Because, as most people watch this video probably understand, but in case you don't, say you got Bitcoin, the Bitcoin blockchain, there's no way to move that Bitcoin natively over to another blockchain like Ethereum, for example. Or if you're on Ethereum, there's no real way to move, a token that you have on Ethereum over to a different blockchain like, Binance Smart Chain, for example. So you have to use this thing called a bridge, to facilitate that process. So we'll talk more about bridges, how they work here in a minute, because that's important to understand with the details of this particular exploit. But basically, we've seen a lot of bridge exploits happen. I'm using the term hack and exploit and, kind of interchangeably here. There's going to be probably inevitably people in the comment section below that are like, hey, it's not a hack, it's an exploit, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just mostly speaking to people in a language that they can understand. So, anyways, so we've seen lots of bridge exploits happen in the past, to the tune of, millions and millions and millions of dollars, and here is another one. So let's kind of go through the post-mortem on this. So the Harmony team has identified the theft occurring this morning for $100 million. They've begun working with national authorities and forensic specialists to identify the culprit. Okay. So this does not impact the trustless Bitcoin bridge. Its funds and assets stored on decentralized vaults are safe at this time. But they have stopped supporting the bridge to keep further transactions from happening, and then keep up to date to see what the actual final result of this is. So, of course, like I was saying before, this has made the Harmony 1 token itself slump. We've seen other exploits, like I was saying before, like the Ronin Bridge hack happened earlier this year. To $326 million. Sorry, no, Roman was 625. The Wormhole Bridge was for 326. So basically, let's talk about how this happened and how to keep yourself safe. So, like I was saying before, bridges are notorious for getting exploited. So what are they and how do they work again? So how this particular bridge works, you can see it, is that when you have tokens on one blockchain and you move to another, they basically have a set of smart contracts on each blockchain that hold those funds. Okay, so say you're moving from, Harmony to Ethereum, for example, or, Ethereum to Harmony, or, Binance Smart Chain to Harmony, doesn't matter. There's a smart contract in each blockchain that accepts your funds, your tokens, and then locks them up. And then you have a validator or some sort of relayer in the middle, which essentially is a computer that lets both blockchains talk to one another. Okay, so here's why bridges are commonly exploited. There's two main reasons. One is that whenever you have a bridge there's always large amounts of money sitting on each side because there needs to be a one-to-one value transfer from one fund to another. The funds have to exist on each blockchain, okay? And so basically, anytime somebody moves from one chain to another, like the deposit of what they withdraw on the other side is always sitting on the other blockchain and vice versa. So there's always massive, massive, massive reservoirs of capital there that could be potentially exploited. And so that's why this happens over and over and over again. It's basically a honeypot. There's a giant prize pool that if you're smart enough as a hacker, you can just take it. Okay, so how do they commonly get exploited? Well, there's a few different ways. The smart contracts themselves can get exploited, where basically, if a smart contract itself has some sort of bug, then you could exploit that bug and take the funds. I've actually got another video coming out on my channel next week about a particular smart contract exploit technique. It's actually going to be a tutorial, so definitely go check that out. Again, I'm not making these videos to teach you how to steal money from people, but how to, become a white hat hacker and, be safe for your own contracts, or also, honestly disclose these to other people so that you could, get bug bounties and help them out in the process. So, smart contracts in themselves can be exploited. The other way is through messages sent between each blockchain. So, like I was saying before, you have smart contracts that, facilitate the deposit and withdrawal process to make this bridge happen on each side. But then you also have this relayer or validator in the middle that sends messages between each blockchain and says, like, okay, we've received the funds on this side. Now take them out on this side so that you can actually bridge over. Okay. And those messages could be spoofed. Okay. Where you could either, pretend to be somebody you're not when you're sending a message, or you could send an invalid message that says like, hey, transfer a different amount, or, I've received this, okay, when you actually haven't received it. There's all types of ways that you could potentially exploit that, okay, and spoof messages or send bad messages that might, or you can make yourself an admin, right, where you're not supposed to be an admin. That's we've seen that other bridge exploits in the past, where there's a certain set of like, validators that have certain privileges. An attacker was basically able to just promote themselves to that person, or pretend to be that person, and they could unlock certain amounts of funds. There's certain bridges that are secured by multi-sigs. You can get a hold of a multi-sig. So the big picture here is that bridges are not safe by any stretch of the imagination. At least that's not what history is telling us. So I'm not saying that bridges can't get better over time, or that we can't find better ways to do bridges, that where we don't see this litany of attacks, right? This massive long list of exploits. But for now, I think it's safe to assume when you're interacting with a bridge that you should be highly cautious and skeptical. So how do you protect yourself from this? So, one thing to understand is, you can use bridges, but you should probably be very careful on how much funds that you bridge over. Okay. I've even made videos on my channel about how to start bridging over to layer 2 blockchains and stuff like that, so you can start hunting for airdrops. Okay. In those videos, I've always stressed like, hey, you should always be doing this with a very small amount of money that you can afford to lose. Because, truly nothing is 100% safe in crypto. And that should be your first assumption, okay? And bridges are no exception. So, there are people who are taking large amounts of money and bridging over funds. You should always just assume that that's not super duper safe. Like basically, you should just assume that a bridge is going to be compromised at some point, because history is telling us that that's essentially what's going on here. So, other ways to potentially avoid this. Oh, my camera just started yeah, that's crazy. Sometimes it's been doing this lately where it'll autofocus back. Anyways, we're good now. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought because my camera started freaking out on me. So you should just assume that they're going to be exploited at some point. Okay. One possible solution is that you're able to withdraw funds off an exchange directly onto the environment that you want to. But if we're talking about a blockchain like Harmony, for example, that, had this happen and you're talking about the cryptocurrency and you held like 1 tokens, that's going to affect the price of 1. So there's just lots of risks associated with all this type of stuff. So Other thing is, like, people think all the time that if you have a hardware wallet, it's going to protect you from this type of stuff. Hardware wallets basically give a lot of people a false sense of security, okay? Because at the end of the day, you have to sign a message on your hardware wallet to make any kind of transaction. And yeah, it makes it easier for people not to just like open your MetaMask account and then drain your funds at the click of a button. They have to physically sign it, but people still are signing bad messages with hardware wallets that end up being not what they intend to. We see this happen all the time with like NFT holders who sign certain messages to approve their NFTs. They click on a bad link or something, and they sign with their hardware wallet, because sometimes hardware wallets even have like, if you ever use your hardware wallet and it says, please confirm this transaction, and then the data on the transaction is just this big gobbledygook of like hexadecimal code that most people are not going to understand what the heck that even means. They're just going to sign it and say, yeah, that looks good. So even if that message might be obfuscated to say, approve all the NFTs in my wallet, and it could still drain instantly. So definitely be careful. Always know what you're signing and what you're interacting with. Somebody says, looking on the camera, my camera's getting exploited. Yeah, maybe. Somebody says bridges with burn mechanisms get hacked. Plenty of bridges that can't be hacked, like those using lock mechanisms. So I see what they're saying there in this criticism. So basically, like, basically what they're saying is bridges with burn mechanisms, essentially bridges where you lock funds up on one side and they get burned on the other side when they issue tokens. Bridges with lock mechanisms. They also say that these companies should be held accountable for the hack. Who cares about the hacker? Harmony isn't qualified. Yeah, so I definitely understand the sentiment there that basically the people who are custodying the bridges should be held accountable in some regard. So the other thing about this is, like, with the exploits, definitely the other thing is the person is going, like the attacker is most likely going to get found out. Because that's the other thing. People think you can just hack, these sums of money in the crypto space and not get found. Well, basically, all your activity is completely public, and we see lots of massive security companies who are very, very, very smart. Okay, that can probably trace you. Like, the odds are you're going to get traced down. Now, you might be in a country where it's very hard to extradite you and bring you to justice, but like like, I'll put it this way. If anybody's watching this channel gets tempted to go, like, steal a bunch of money from smart contracts, just don't do it. I mean, I could try to appeal to that from an ethical framework, but if you're serious about trying to steal that kind of money, that probably doesn't matter to you in the first place. So I will appeal to your desire not to go to jail for life. If the hacker is found as a jailworthy, yeah, it's definitely jailworthy. If you steal $100 million, that's not like get off on, light. I mean, I'm no legal expert. I don't know what your jail time's actually going to be, but it's not going to be a slap on the wrist. I'll put it that way. Now, there will be some cases where they'll say, like, okay, yeah, we'll settle. We'll give you like $10 million and you just give us $90 million back. But sometimes, they do that and then you think you've got away with it and something else that you didn't expect happens to you later. So yeah, you don't want to go down that road. There's unintended consequences there. It's sort of like when you're building software, and like if you're a developer, you probably know this. Like, you're building software and then you try to make it do something it's not supposed to. You start breaking things that you didn't know you were going to break. So you start going down that path in life where you start, meddling with this type of hacks. You don't want to know what comes next. So this is jail or join the NSA. You can choose. That's right. Are soft rugs jail worthy? I think there's a lot of people in crypto who are going to suffer consequences in a legal sense that they didn't realize I mean, sort of like it is other things like some of the ICOs that happened, in 2017, 2018. Like, you have to understand, if you create an unregistered security and you like put it out there, you might think you got away with it until like 5 years later, they finally catch up with you and you get served by the SEC. It's not going to be like, oh, I put this out there and then like next week they're coming knock on your door. It might take a long time. And I think that's something a lot of people don't take account for. Is it possible to build a zero-knowledge proof bridge eliminating multi-sigs? So that's a great question. So that's one reason that I'm talking about that I do think that bridges can improve in the future. Our current implementations of the bridges have lots of trust assumptions. I am excited about zero-knowledge-based cryptography, especially how that works with layer 2 scaling solutions and things where you can use cryptographic proofs, that's math, not validators, to make things happen. I am excited about that future prospect. Now, I will confess, I am not 100% expert in that particular implementation of that technology, how you could make that work with ZK, zero-knowledge proofs moving between different blockchains. It's a much deeper topic, but I have, studied up on that to see where people are headed. All right, so I don't clearly see the exact implementation of how that works, but there does look like there's future prospects for that type of thing. Should we use a burner wallet for interactions and transactions? It's not a bad idea. All right, so let's look at a couple other things that have happened in this space since yesterday. So one thing I want to bring up that's kind of making a buzz right now is the Solana phone. Okay, so Solana is making a crypto phone with help from with former Essential engineers. So the phone, previously known as I don't even know how you pronounce this, the OSM OV1. I haven't heard of this technology before. That might make me look kind of dumb, but I don't know. I'd never heard of this particular phone brand before. If I'm saying that wrong, OSM, let me know in the comment section below or in the live chat. Anyways, this phone, previously known as this, is built by a team consisting of former designers and engineers of Essential, being renamed and repurposed today, and it's all in the name of crypto. So basically, they sell this phone for $1,000. Deposit $100 is required to reserve one. It's gonna have a roughly 6.5 inch display, 12 gigabytes of storage, 12 gigs of RAM. So the camera, the phone is supposed to be designed for like crypto natives, essentially people who are hardcore into crypto and self-custody. It's supposed to be designed basically with the idea of having your wallet hosted on your phone, so that you can interact with Web3, NFTs, and it'll come with unique features. So it'll have decentralized application support out of the box that rely on Solana blockchain. So this is interesting. They introduced a Solana mobile stack, an open Dapp store, which will run on Android. The company is envisioning a vast proliferation of crypto-native apps, digital services, and digital goods that will be made possible through its new stack, which will be available to other Android device makers too. So they were saying, we didn't see a single crypto announcement at Apple's developer conference 13 years after Bitcoin went live. I think it's going to be up to us. Okay. So this is an interesting concept. I haven't had time to fully digest this and give all, to really develop, great thoughts about this, right? But some initial impressions. So it definitely looks like a novel concept that, nobody's really going for the throat on, that has the type of reach that, ecosystem like Solana does. Now, the thing about it is, I get the idea that like Apple didn't announce any crypto specific features and they want to, develop a crypto native phone. Problem is, I think a lot of people, a lot of people in the crypto space already have a pretty strong preference on the mobile device that they want to use. And the switching cost of like ditching whatever your current mobile phone is in favor of a Solana phone, I don't know. I have questions about that. Let me know what y'all think in the live chat below. I mean, for me, for example, I mean, some of this might be personal anecdote, personal, just vantage point perspective. I mean, I'm an iPhone user. I've been a long time iPhone user. I have no plans to stop using an iPhone. And so it'd be very hard for me to even, consider switching just to get crypto specific features on a phone. And I could probably replicate a lot of those benefits just with third-party applications like MetaMask on my phone if I wanted to, or Trust Wallet, whatever, right? Let me know what you think down in the live chat or the comment section below. What operating system do you use on your phone? What device do you use? I mean, if you're an Android user, maybe you don't care about the device switch. Like if you're an Android user, you're just used to the Android interface and you like to like tweak things anyway. Maybe you're okay with changing hardware as long as the operating system's roughly the same experience. Just use two phones. Teen experience all over again. Yeah, or your secondary identity. Especially security doesn't come with the phones. The irony with all recent hacks. Yeah. This diehard iPhone user. That's my sense is that's my sense is that people are pretty loyal to their phones and aren't gonna just like instantly switch over. Now there could be a bigger play beyond this, right? Like just launching this phone as a proof of concept, may not be. There may be a bigger play beyond this. So it says the $100 million for the exploit still sitting in the wallet. Yes, it is still sitting in the wallet. You can just go check it out on Etherscan, and you can see, yeah, you can see $102 million. So it says people are loyal to phones, not vice versa. Yeah. Paste the transaction link in the live chat. Here's the All right, so let's go ahead and check on the crypto markets here. Take a quick peek. So we do have a little bit of green in the charts today. Okay, it's actually the first time we've seen green on the past 7 days in quite a while. So hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take some green days. Let's take a look at what's going on with the stock market here. So we're green on the S&P. 5-day looks good on the S&P. Month looks terrible. Okay. I'm not convinced yet. I'll put it that way. I'm not convinced that we have formed that nice bottom on the stock market that we want to see. So basically, if you haven't, if you've been watching the live streams in the channel, you've heard me say this a million times. For everybody's tuning in new, there's what we're seeing right now with crypto prices is not a crypto specific problem. Of course, we have a huge problem with the macro economy. I don't claim to be a macro expert by any stretch of the imagination. It doesn't take a genius to see that inflation's an issue, that the Fed, central bank of the United States, is essentially tightening its monetary policy. Of course, there's gonna be a lot of people who are saying, that inflation's caused by, lots of different factors, and the QT is not necessarily going to fix everything, especially when we're talking about supply side issues with supply chains. But hey, here we are. Anyways, crypto is facing a very similar headwind the stock market is. I'm not convinced that crypto is going to rip off to new all-time highs without, stocks finding a bottom. It started to trend higher over time. I'd love to be proven wrong about that. I'd be happy if crypto decorrelated and started making its pump. We've been talking about the possibility of a Fed pivot at some point, or maybe not even a pivot, but just, you know, increasing dovishness for most of the hawkishness that we've seen. The possibility of that coming while crypto is on a bear market rally, and that leaving everybody in the dust who is just waiting for it to go lower. That's the current contrarian possibility that we've been entertaining on the channel. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but markets do have a way of doing things that nobody expects. All right. For example, you know, we saw Bitcoin make a double top here. Who expected that? I can't find a single person who said that was going to happen with any degree of accuracy at these price levels. By the same token, everybody thinks we're just going to go lower. And we might not, right? But we might, right? No, I'm not trying to claim to know what's going to happen next. Anybody who says, anybody who makes short-term verifiable claims should be viewed with skepticism or at least held to an incredibly high standard. So anyways, we're seeing a little bit of green on the chart on the weekly time frame. Okay. I would hope that we could at least get that. All right. Considering the fact that we've just seen these epic down only streaks. Hopefully we can at least get some relief in the short term. Somebody says, has BTC ever seen a global recession or sustained rate hikes? This is the first real stress test. So that's a good point. Yes, it is the first real major stress test for macro headwinds like this. You know, Bitcoin's created in response to the 2008 financial crisis. And, you know, we haven't really had anything major since then, aside from the sort of pandemic dump that happened in March, but that was short-lived because we got bailed out basically. So it hasn't really seen a sustained, like, you know, sustained recession. So I think that's one where people are very risk off right now. So anyways, we'll take it. We'll take a green day in the crypto space. I'm not getting too excited just yet. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Has crypto found a bottom yet? We gonna go lower? How low are we gonna go? They want a relief rally now. Yeah, I think a lot of people would take a relief rally. A lot of pain left in the market. They're saying they hope not, that it hasn't bottomed yet. They want to buy more. They'll wait till Christmas. Somebody says, I want one more drop. Did I watch the crypto blockchain hearing yesterday? No, I did not. So when financial advice? Never. Where am I reading from? I'm reading from my second monitor where my YouTube live chat is. How many more hedge funds are in danger for liquidations? That's a good question. You know, we've seen a few funds blow up here, right? And we've been talking about the contagion risk that that's had for all the crypto space, right? Other people who are kind of borrowing money from this person, from that person, robbing Peter to pay Paul. The crypto space is kind of incestuous in that way, all right? And ever since these blowups have happened, we've seen some people insolvent, unable to pay back their debts, and that kind of has an impact on different key players in the space, because when those insolvency issues happen, sometimes they have to liquidate crypto assets in order to pay back those debts. And that's one of the reasons we've seen some of the sell pressure in the markets that have caused us to go significantly lower. Now, numbers go up and down for lots of different reasons, but I think crypto has had its own set of problems that have highly contributed to these fast leg downs in price. Of course, crypto is a riskier asset than even like high growth tech stocks. So when you're talking about a global risk off event where people are saying like, hey, we're worried about a recession, we're worried about inflation, all this type of stuff. So we're going to start moving to cash, which if you're worried about inflation, you're moving to cash. It's kind of crazy. But anyways, that's how the herd thinks. And so when the herd thinks that, they dump riskier stuff faster. And, crypto is riskier, higher beta than these other assets. So you add that on, but then you also add these crypto-specific events. We had the Terra Luna collapse, which was here. We had the Celsius issue here, the Three Arrows Capital blow up here, right? So like all this stuff kind of was a major confluence of events that all kind of happened around the same time, which was just a huge pressure on crypto. So maybe one day I'll write a chronicle of crypto from 2017 till however old I live to be. Will be a crypto historian. All right, everybody. That's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. They really help these videos out. So I'm learning about blockchain. And if you're as fast in this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? You can either go to my YouTube homepage. You can find those free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those videos, you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, actually become a blockchain master step-by-step start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. And in case you missed the announcement, we are having the Blockchain Bootcamp version 2.0 special launch event on Thursday, July 14th. Okay, that's just in 19 days. You can sign up over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. It's the fastest way to change your career, break into the blockchain industry, whether you're an experienced developer already or just starting from scratch. Okay, and yeah, super excited for this. So that's all I got. And until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.